Chima Baim, we're continuing on Shulchan Aruch, Orach Chaim, Hilchot Shabbat. We're studying Siman Resh Samech Aleph. It's a complex sugya. We try to simplify it as we go through. It's the sugya that touches on Ben Hashmashot and all the related halachot. Maran writes, Safek Hashecha, these are halachot of things that you can do and you can't do when is Safek Hashecha, means between the sundown and nightfall, there is a period of time that time lapse is Safek Yom, Safek Laila. And what is mutar to do, what is not mutar to do in that period of time is the subject of Siman Resh Samech Aleph. So when you have Safek Hashecha ve'u Ben Hashmashot, we call it Ben Hashmashot, the Rama explains in parentheses, Ve'hainu k'teshiur hiluch sheloshet riv'ei mil, which is the period of time that takes to go shloshet riv'ei mil. Now, after that is after sundown, after shkiat hachama, ve'shiur milhu shlisha pachot chelek shloshim. The time of walking a mil is a third of an hour minus a 30th of an hour, which would mean 20 minutes, which is a third of an hour, minus 2 minutes, which is a 30th of an hour. That's 18 minutes. 18 minutes is a mil. So that's not Ben Hashmashot. Ben Hashmashot is 2/3 of that. 3/4 of that, which would mean 13 and a half minutes. 13 and a half minutes is the shi'ur, the time of Ben Hashmashot. Says the Shulchan Aruch, during the course of this time, in ma'asrin et havadai, you can't separate ma'asrot if you have a tever vadai. If you have a produce that for sure has not been tidied, has not been separated with the matnot keuna from it, then you cannot do that on the period in this duration of 13 and a half minutes. Ve'en matpilin et hakelim. You can also not dip a kli into mikveh when it's a brand new kli that has not gone to mikveh, needs to go to mikveh. Ve'en madlikin et hanerot. And also you cannot light the candles. If you have not lit already the candles of Shabbat, you can't light them duration of Ben Hashmashot. Ve'en me'arevin, also you cannot do eruv if you didn't make eruvet humin. Eruvet humin is deoraita. Eruvet haserot is the rabbanan. So in the period of time that is safek yom, safek laila, we don't do those things that are going to be a problem from the Torah. So eruvet chumin is a problem in a biblical level. You can't do eruvet chumin on Ben Hashmashot. But all of the things that are derabanan, you have leniencies about them. For instance, says the Shulchan Aruch, aval me'asrin et hademai. You could be ma'aser demai. What's demai? Demai is exactly what it sounds like. Demai, what is this? Right? Demai means a produce that you don't know for sure that ma'aserot were taken off. Chazal say that rov ameh ha'ares me'aserin. The majority of even ignorant laymen, they would separate ma'aser, but we're not sure. So Chazal made an obligation, give a ma'aser again, misafik. Now, that's not tevel vadai. It's not for sure tevel. It may have been, al pi rov ha'me'ares ma'asrin. Al pi the majority, the odds are that this has already been taken care of. So therefore, demai is only at the rabbinic level, and that you can take care of on Ben Hashmashot. It says the Shulchan Aruch, ve'tomenin et hamin. You could do hatmana on the hamin. What's the problem? of hatmana. Of course, we're not talking about, we discussed this in Siman Resh Nun Zayin, the hatmana bedavar hamosif hevel is asur from Erev Shabbat. You cannot wrap something in an item that would increase the level of heat. So we're not talking about that. We are talking about hatmana bedavar she'eno mosif hevel. You are insulating it with something that does not add any heat, but hopefully will preserve some of the heat in the course of the hours to come. You want to keep it warm. So that you can't do on Shabbat. Can you do it in Ber Hashmashot? And the answer is yes, you can, because that is a hashash. The hashash is the reason that you can't do hatmana on Shabbat itself is because maybe you're going to find a kedera that's cooled off. You're going to come to do hatmana, you're going to come to insulate something, and all of a sudden, lo and behold, you find it to be cold and you get all nervous. And out of the anxiety and nervousness, you're going to forget and come to put it, to warm it up. That's the chashash. But that chashash does not apply really in Ben Hashmashot of Erev Shabbat, because Ben Hashmashot of Erev Shabbat, normally speaking, all of the pots are hot because you're warming them up, heating them up in preparation for Shabbat. So all of the kterot and Ben Hashmashot are hot already. So if you forgot to do hatmana b'davar she'eno mosif hevel before Shkia, you could do it after Shkia kol od, so long as it's not the 13.5 minutes past that would end the period of Ben Hashmashot. You could do it within those few minutes. Says the Shulchan Aruch, ume'arvin eruvei haserot. You could also do eruvei haserot, which is again a rabbinic level. So therefore, you could do that as well. Again, all these things are for sorech mitzvah, of course. Umutar lomar le'eno Yehudi ben hashmashot la'adik ner letzorech Shabbat. Also, if you forgot to light in your house, now you're going to be sitting in dark. You can't light the nerot Shabbat for sure, because that's the oraita we mentioned. But you can, in that period of time, you could ask a goy to do it for you, because it will be a shvut, and it's makom mitzvah, and it's already ben hashmashot. So that is like equivalent of shvut, the shvut bimkom mitzvah. So therefore it would be mutar. So it says, again, this is the way the Mishna Berura explains it, that amira la'akum is shvut, is drabanan, and in ben hashmashot we don't have the same severity when it comes to drabanans, lo gazru al shvut, when it's especially b'makom mitzvah, when it is a mitzvah included, involved. And this is something that the Shulchan Aruch later on in Siman Shin Membet is going to discuss at length. Says the Shulchan Aruch, V'chen lomar lo la'asot kol melacha shehi lesorech mitzvah. Any melacha that is sorech mitzvah, you could tell a goy to do. For instance, it's actually happened a few weeks ago that they had forgotten to plug the plata in the Bet Knesset. When they had plugged it in, but it has a button that has to be pushed for it to be on. It's a safety button. And after Shkia, or it was actually before Shkia, they had accepted Shabbat. So that was even a better case maybe. The question was if they can tell the security guard to turn it on, and the answer would be yes. Even if it would be right after Shkia, this was before Shkia, the early minyan, but even if it would be after the Shkia, before the end of the period of Ben Hashmashot, you could ask a goy, sorech mitzvah, to do something that it would be asur for you, because amdar akum is shvut, velo gazru b'shvut b'mkom mitzvah in Ben Hashmashot. Fine. So says the Shulchan Aruch, וכן לומר לו לעשות כל מלאכה שהיא לצורך מצווה, או שהוא טרוד ונחפז עליה, or that you're busy and you're very anxious about it. it would be mutar. Says the Ramah, "Ve'echel mi shekibel alav Shabbat sha'a o shtayim kodem chashecha." If you accepted Shabbat early, which is the case we just discussed, יכול לומר לאינו יהודי להדליק נר ושאר דברים שצריך. You could tell a goy to turn on the nerot Shabbat if you forgot, or if you see that they went off, you turn them on and they flipped, or they went they went off. You could ask a goy to light them, or to do any of the other things that are sorech mitzvah of sorech Shabbat, would be also mutar, again as discussed in Siman Shin and Bet. There are some details of this this area of halakha, this Siman Samech Aleph Sif Aleph, some important other halachot which Be'ezrat Hashem we will discuss and we will cover in the next year. Chazak u'baruch.